Hi, this is Logapriya, Assistant Professor, Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science, Ramco Institute of Technology, Rajapalayam. Now we are going to discuss a topic in text and speech analysis. Text analysis deals with understanding and extracting information from written text, while speech analysis focuses on processing the spoken language. Both are essential in modern applications such as chatbot, voice assistant, customer analytics, and intelligence systems. Now we are going to discuss a topic text normalization. Before going to the topic, let's see some core concepts which helps us to understand text normalization. NLP, which is mainly based how machines process a language. And tokenization is the process which splitting the text into two words, noise and text, which involves emojis, punctuation, extra spaces, and then vocabulary variation means a single word with multiple variation like run, running, ran, depending upon the grammatical variation, that is tense. Stop words, which is the common punctuation words, or conjunctions like common words which stop other words to connect. And the process is steaming versus lemmatization, words that reduction methods. Text normalization is the process of converting a raw data, unstructured text, into a standard, clean, and machine readable format so that the computers can easily understand and analyze it correctly. It must be carefully designed because over normalization can also change the meaning. Text and speech inputs require different normalization techniques. The process also depends on the application domains, such as medical, legal, and also social media text also. In real time, normalization must be fast and accurate to ensure correct and timely responses. Let's see what is the practical awareness beyond the normalization. The first thing is context matter. In context matters, over normalization may change the meaning, which means meaning or removing the modifying too much information which can distort the actual meaning of the sentence. In text input, text data usually contains a slang, spelling errors, emojis, abbreviation, etc., which can focus on correcting the spelling, expanding the abbreviation, removing the emojis. In speech input, which includes fillers, pronunciation variation, pauses, and background noise. But the normalization focus on removing the fillers, handling the pronunciation, converting the speech to text. And then domain dependency. In domain dependency, meaning changed by means of domain like social media, medical, and legal text. Normalization rules depend on application domain. So that the same word with a different meaning, domain specific dictionary is also needed, and medical and legal text need a high precision. At loss, speed and accuracy are most important in real-time applications. It converts the real human language into standard and machine readable form by expanding the abbreviation, numbers, dates, symbols. It play a vital role in speech recognition NLP system to improve accuracy and understanding. And then text normalization, which is not the same in all the situations, while it improves processing, careless normalization can change meaning or reduce the accuracy. Okay, why there is a need in text normalization instance? Text data is unstructured and inconsistent, and machine cannot understand the slang, symbols, or variation. Same meaning can appear in many forms, like U, which is symbol as only U, or YWU, which may be in lowercase or uppercase. Text normalization is a pre-processing step in NLP. Main or ultimate goal is to standardize the text for machine understanding. Text normalization. Text normalization is the processing step in natural language processing that converts text into a standard, consistent format so that the machines can understand and analyze it more efficiently. Text normalization cleans and standardizes text before it's used by a computer. So what is the need for a normalization means? Human language is always messy or like colloquial language, which consists of same words written differently, short forms as the need of a user, and slang depending upon the user. Uppercase, maybe in uppercase or lowercase, there are differences. Extra symbols and punctuation also there. Text normalization reduces this variation. What happens during text normalization? Let's see what are the process beyond the normalization. Common normalization operations include lower casing, removing punctuation, removing extra spaces, expanding the contractions, spelling corrections, removing the stop words, stemming or lemmatization, handling numbers and symbols. So let's see what are the real world applications on normalization. The first thing and common most thing is chatbot and virtual assistant, in which the user input, please help me to reset the password. The password is not fully mentioned, which is like mentioned as PWD. So we want to normalize it as please help me to reset a password with the full letters PASSWORD. And then second one is it is used in search engines like running shoes engine, run shoes to want to correct the similar queries. Normalization helps to treat them as a similar queries by varying the spellings. And then sentimental analysis. I love this phone so much. Normalized to understand the strong positive sentiment which is emotionally positive. And then speech to text system. Convert spoken words into standardized written text. And then for voice assistants like Alexa, Siri, and Google Assistant, which also normalize spoken commands for accuracy. And then call center analytics, in that analyze customer emotions lively, social media monitoring, track trends and public sentiment in a real time. And then in healthcare voice system, converts the doctor's speech into clean medical text, which is also used as a prescribed report for patients. And what are the measures and how can we evaluate the text normalization? So initially to check if a normalization is effective and how it is usable for users, the first thing is accuracy, how correctly the text is normalized. In precision and recall, in precision, correct normalization is totally normalized or not. In recall, total correct cases is counted. And BLEO score compares the normalized text with a reference sentence, word error rate, measures error after normalization, common in some speech systems also. Let's see what are the advantages of text normalization. It basically improves the model performance, like less noise by filtering the noise, which gives better protection and reduces the vocabulary size, fastening the process and low memory use, better consistency, which is the same meaning with the same representation, enhances accuracy in the sense, especially in classification and sentimental analysis, it enhances the accuracy to provide proper report, which is used to help faster decision making and improve speech recognition accuracy, better chatbot responses in all the time, that's 24/7, reduce noise and ambiguity, efficient real-time sentimental dedication, which is also a detection process. Let's see what are the disadvantages of text normalization. The first thing is loss of information. Removing a punctuation may remove meaning in sometimes. Let's see an example. Let's eat grandma. So without a apostrophe or without a double quotes, the meaning will totally change. The next thing is context may be damaged. Slangs or emojis carry emotions that may be lost sometimes. Over normalization, different words may become the same unintentionally, and which is also an language dependent. In that case, limited time for deep processing, assistant and pronunciation issues in speech, loss of emotional cues that stores or passes. Over normalization may reduce the meaning in some cases. So in real-time processing workflow, let's see text analysis pipeline. The first thing is you want to get a user want to get an input like in the form of text, and then they want to process. The first thing is they want to normalize, that is text normalization, and want to tokenize, that is tokenization, and extract the features which needed by the user, and sentiment or intent analysis, and last we finally get an output or response to the user. And in speech analysis pipeline, the first thing is to get an input in an audio form, and speech to text, the conversion where speech to text, then the text normalization is carried out. And finally, language understanding, which gives an action or response to the user. Text normalization and analysis, the flow is, the first thing is lower casing. In lower casing, conversion of all the text to lower cases. Let's see in this example how I change from hello world to hello world, that is uppercase to lowercase. The second thing is tokenization, which splits the text into words or sentences. For example, I like A in the sense the first letter I, That's specifically in double quotes and then like and then a, which is separated by using a commas and double quotes. Stop word removal, which removes commonly used words with a little meaning, that is, they are, and. In the process, next process, stemming process, which reduce the words to root form, may not be grammatically correct. The words which is not grammatically correct in the sense we want to change by using the stemming process. Let's see with an example. Running is not a correct form, so we can change that into run. Then next process is lemmatization, which converts the words to a meaningful base form. That is, some some English is not good, so we are changing the word like better to good. Next process is removing punctuation and special characters. In the example, special character, that is exclamatory mark is present, we are removing it by using remove punctuation and special characters process. And then handling a number. If the numbers is mentioned numerically, we want to give into the considerized form, that is in English method 2025. And loss, expanding the abbreviation. For a doctor, we are mentioning as DR. For Mrs., we are mentioning as Mrs. So we want to expand the abbreviations without any apostrophe or dot or commas, whatever it may be present. We want to expand the abbreviations. So in speech system, normalization is also called text cleaning before TTS or ASS. The steps are written as below. The first step is number expansion. Number expansion, we already saw that 500 in the words 500 rupees. And date and time expansion also 12. Date is 12 and month 5. And 2024, we want to expand in the full expansion of English. Abbreviation expansion like AI, artificial intelligence, and handling the symbols. If at is based in the simple and percent, we want to mention it in the physical form. And removing the fillers is the last step. Thank you all.